Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is From Defense to Disputes, the Maritime Maverick. We have with us Aishwarye Dubey, a renowned maritime lawyer and consultant at Lardner North Company, India, who has created a niche for himself in maritime law, international dispute resolution, and defense strategies. From drafting high stakes contracts to advising on naval warfare and maritime terrorism, Aishwarya's work is as diverse as it is impactful. Join us as we explore his unique career path, passion for the maritime sector, and the lessons he has learned along the way. So, welcome, Aishwarya, to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you so much, Amit, for inviting me. And
Okay.
I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
So, Aishwarya, I just want to explain you. You must be aware of the two rounds, but there is a surprise rapid fire, the third round, for which you have to be
Okay.
witty, fun, and quick. And for that, you'll get this book as your Christmas gift, which will be autographed by me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host of Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. We help law firms, corporate legal, startup SMEs with world-class software and technology with training solutions. So, my first question, Aishwarya, what inspired you to specialize in maritime law, a niche yet critical area of practice?
It was purely by accident, Amit, let me tell you. And I had completed my law. And after some time, I got to know about the specialty of maritime law. But this story was being written since 2014 because I happened to establish the first maritime arbitration moot court in the country, which is in National Law University of Orissa. So I was a founding member of that moot court society. So specifically started off from there, but I did not know that I'll go and specialize in this. Because of the fact that I come from a family of seafarers, I found this to be much more comfortable and a known area of law to join and practice. So it was accident, and to an extent, I would say fate also had to play its role. That's all.
Wow. Okay. So, Aishwarya, what are the activities, actions for a maritime and a lawyer working in defense sector for our audience? Because this is a very niche area. I have done coffee corner, laws like contract, M&A, then sports law, litigation, ADR. But I'm very fortunate to having coffee conversation with you and maritime law. So for all our viewers out there, uh, how does a day look for a maritime and a lawyer working for defense sectors?
See, there are two defining sectors, subsectors in this industry. One is public international maritime law, and the other one is private international maritime law. For the defense sector, it's called the public international maritime law. So let me give you a brief about myself. I've also worked as a fellow of the National Maritime Foundation, which is the think tank of the Indian Navy. Out there, we were more into research, advocacy, diplomacy, track 1.5 diplomacy with officials of different other countries in terms of naval warfare, in terms of strategy outlook of the Indian Navy, of the Indian government itself. And the other sector, the subsector which I'm talking about, is the private international maritime law, which is concerning about shipping contracts and shipping operations. So in shipping operations, the day starts at any time of the day. You might get a call from anywhere in the world that, look, this ship is in distress. A cargo has been damaged. This has happened. That has happened. So the sun never sets on the maritime industry, let me tell you. That is the reason why your day might start at 2 a.m., your day might start at 4 a.m. It depends upon which cases you are getting. In the office itself, you have to go for drafting, filing, and different other matters which are coming up. We also conduct a lot of ADR, that is arbitration, mediation, and conciliation, because not everybody wants to go to the court, and that is how our day looks like. It might stretch up to 11 to 12 in the night. Sometimes It goes on to 48 hours at a stretch without sleep. So it's a hectic job. That's how I like it.
Okay, so let's go and your experience on the ADR side. Can you elaborate on your experience with alternate dispute resolution in the maritime industry?
Amir, let me tell you, it's a very sought after process, at least in the maritime sector, because every single minute in the shipping sector counts. Every single minute is a dollar which has gone in vain. So everybody wants to get a quick and speedy resolution to the dispute. Whenever the disputes come up, we offer a med-R process. We go for mediation. If at all mediation fails, then we go for arbitration. And even if arbitration fails, then we try and go to litigation. So it offers you the flexibility of getting to know the other side's story, what business opportunities that might be involved. Not everybody wants to spend a lot of time and effort going to the court and litigating the dispute. So ADR gives you a very flexible route in a very quick span of time to resolve your dispute. With arbitration, mediation, personally, I would prefer mediation because both of the parties sit across the table and get the disputes resolved probably within a matter of hours. That's all.
Wow. Okay. So, Aishwarya, how do you approach drafting contracts for international shipping companies, especially in high stake cases?
We also have standard formats which are provided by BIMCO, and different companies have their own standard formats. However, if they have very specific needs regarding to a very specific transaction that needs to be completed, then we try and understand the business opportunities that are being provided in this transaction. Then, according to the needs of the other party, let's say our client, we go for drafting step by step, clause by clause, because each clause needs to be negotiated between both the parties, whether it's the charterer, the ship broker, ship owner, custom house agent, whatever it is. You need to be very specific and very detail oriented. Unless and until everybody agrees to each and every clause in the contract, there is no standard contract. So we need to be very thoroughly prepared. Sometimes, if you have a plain and simple transaction, we have standard form contracts offered by BIMCO, NYPE, GenCon. That can be taken into consideration. That's how it is.
Wow. Okay. Uh, so, Aishwarya, how do you navigate the complexities of international maritime dispute, looking at the time zones, the culture, everything, and how do you devise a strategy that it comes in your favor?
The strategy is be on your toes. Listen to what the other party is saying. First and foremost, the details are in the documents itself, what the parties have negotiated. And when disputes arise, we go back to what has transpired between the both parties. Essentially, it's a very international sort of a scenario wherein a party might be sitting in Greece and the ship owner sitting in Singapore. We as lawyers are sitting in India. It becomes a very complex issue because many jurisdictions are involved. Then you have to decide as to what will be the governing law, what will be the area, what will be the jurisdiction. All of these intricacies need to be taken into consideration because disputes will not see what time or what jurisdiction it has to happen. If an accident has to happen, if a ship has to catch fire, it will catch fire wherever it is, in the Atlantic or in the Indian Ocean. It doesn't matter. You, as lawyer, have to be prepared round the clock, 24/7, 365.
Okay, I'm a little curious. My this question: how has your experience been working with legal departments of Indian shipping companies uh, and international shipping companies?
See, my experience comes from Maersk Line. I have worked for Maersk Line. It's an international shipping company, and I've also worked for the Indian Navy. So I have had a very diverse exposure, both commercial as well as government sector. My experience in the international shipping lines is they are working round the clock. They give you the space to operate, but at the same time, they want diligence. You cannot be a laid back person and expect that everything will go hunky dory. No, it will not happen like that. In the government sector, many a times due to external pressures, internal pressures, what might happen is if you have been given a deadline, and many a times beyond that deadline, you have to work. That deadline might get extended, but not in the international shipping lines, because each and every single passing minute is costing money, and money is of prime importance in the shipping industry. So that's how my life has been, and it's working quite well for me.
Okay. Have you ever been on a ship and interacted with the captains and a crew?
Uh, to tell you a bit about myself, I'm a seafarer's son. I have sailed on board many ships. I've also sailed on board Indian Navy ships. So my life has been of a very roller coaster ride. I've lived in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands also. When you go on board a ship, the ship goes through rolling and pitching. It moves up and down and sideways as well. So initially, when you
Mm.
go on board the ship, you encounter something called seasickness. So for
Oh,
first few days, you'll encounter seasickness, you'll feel nauseatic and so on and so forth. But the crew will make you feel very comfortable, because the crew is, let's say if you are working for international shipping company, the crew will be a very a diverse one. You have someone from UK, you have a captain from the UK, you have ratings from Philippines, you have officers from India. So it's a very diverse mix, and everybody works in a very smooth manner. They'll make you feel comfortable. Gradually, you get accustomed to it.
wow. Recently, the ship from Italy was in Mumbai, that commercial ship, 93 years old. I had the fortune of visiting. So they had invited public tours. This it's a magnificent, huge ship. I
Yeah,
got to see from
that's
close
wonderful.
quarters, the captain, the crew, all in their white dress and greeting all the visitors out there. There was a band playing. So, yes. So I like to go for such, what do you say, wherever there is an event or walk tour or anything. So you get to see the other side, how they are working, the history, the art, everything. So that is the way. Okay. So Aishwarya, can you tell us about a recent trend in maritime law that excites or challenges you?
Yes, the trend I would say is amongst the Indian academic fraternity. A lot of people, a lot of young law students are wanting to take up maritime law and practice as a career. To tell you briefly, I will be conducting a course in the future, probably within the next 10-15 days, for a reputed law university, wherein I was expecting that around 20-30 odd students would come up to take up this course.
Hmm.
Incidentally, more than 200 have registered. Now, this is from across the country and abroad as well. People who are working seafarers, they also registered. So this trend, wherein people are wanting to know more about maritime law and practice, is one which is exciting, which is opening new avenues of opportunity, because everybody knows about different legal practice areas, IPR, taxation, M&A, corporate. That's everybody knows about it. Maritime law and practice, not many people are aware as to huge amount of opportunities which are persisting. Let me tell you about the Admiralty Act that has been promulgated by the government of India. After 2017, this act, all the 9 coastal states of India and the high courts therein have got jurisdiction to try out all sorts of legal matters. This has opened new avenues for the young maritime lawyers. And I would sincerely suggest everyone who's seeing me and who's hearing my voice to come up and at least try and explore the avenues in maritime law and practice.
Beautiful. Wow. Okay. So my next question will be related to your teaching experience. What got you interested in teaching, guest lecturing at universities, and how has experience been?
This goes back to when I was a student myself. Would you believe the fact that I was teaching in a different law university in India while being a student myself in the fifth year of law school. I did that. I flew down to that institution and I taught them. This comes from the fact that my mother was a principal. She was in academics itself. So it flows down the genes. Academics comes from my mother's side, maritime comes from my father's side. So it's a beautiful mix of the two genetic compositions. And I am the end product. That's why it's there in me because not many people would be interested in teaching maritime law because essentially not many people are aware about it. When you know about these things and you have gained your expertise, I sincerely say it's a moral obligation upon you to take it up and disseminate that information across the globe, whoever that might be. So, yeah, that has been my goal.
Okay, Aishwarya, you recently wrote a letter to the Prime Minister's office requesting the establishment of the Indian Maritime Service IMS. Could you please elaborate more on this? And why is it important and how will it shape the maritime industry in India and abroad?
I recently wrote a letter, and as you're already aware, that it went to the Honorable Prime Minister's office. That file is currently under process. And the reason why I wrote it is because of the fact that we have a very long coastline. One. Second, we are the world's biggest providers of shipping officers. That's second. We are providing the biggest maritime workforce to the globe. We are the biggest maritime market in the industry, in the global shipping industry. So when these opportunities are there, when such huge amount of maritime trade is happening, around 90% of India's trade happens through the seas. And there's absolutely no uniform methodology of government regulation and control. Different state maritime boards are there, different entities are there, customs is there, Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways is there. But there's no one streamlined agenda to be followed. Government has many initiatives which they bring up, but it's not getting streamlined on the ground. Maritime operations are being mishandled. They're not happening in the right manner. That is the reason why disputes are arising. If the handling is in a very smooth manner, if the regulation is done in a very smooth manner, then we have what we call a unified maritime command. That is the reason why I wrote to the Honorable Prime Minister stating why we need the Indian Maritime Service. And I believe sooner than later, it might come up. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah. That's very beautiful of you and whoever is working with you to for setting up establishment of the Indian Maritime Service IMS. So this will be a game changer for the industry and different stakeholders. That's so my team Coffee wishes you okay. It gets set up at the earliest. Okay. So now my last two questions. How has technology helped you, Aishwarya?
Technology is a game changer for us, at least the maritime sector professionals. Because me being a maritime lawyer, we have to handle a lot of cases from abroad. So we need to engage in video conferences, we need to engage in online ADR sessions, wherein technology comes to our rescue. That's one. Technology helps to force multiply our efforts because until and unless you have the right tech with you, your own practice area will not get magnified and it will not get manifested in the right manner. Let me give a brief example. If somebody is sitting out in the UK in a different time zone and I have to communicate with them and also resolve a dispute with them, we need tech for it. We need different softwares who are there to handle our interactions, our business interactions, our dispute resolution interactions. All of that needs to be handled by some software, isn't it? So that is the reason why I personally believe I'm a very big supporter of tech, at least in the legal practice arena. And for maritime, it's very, very crucial. It's extremely crucial.
Wow. My last question for your professional journey round. What advice would you give to young lawyers aspiring to work in specialized fields like maritime law?
Just take the plunge. you won't regret it. If you are looking for a life of challenge, adventure, and constant evolution, constantly evolving maritime and international trade is, if that begets you, this is the arena for you. Come take the plunge. We are waiting. Please come.
Beautiful. So now let's go to the next round and understand Aishwarya as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years. We have heard about your father, your mother. Let's hear the rest details.
I am an alumnus of the Lardner College, Lucknow, and I never thought that I'll end up becoming a lawyer. I was preparing for the defense services. Somehow, my parents couldn't agree to it, so I ended up being a law student and thereafter a lawyer. Midway in between all of this, I also appeared for civil services examination. So I've appeared thrice for it, but God has different plans for me, and that is the reason why I'm a maritime lawyer now. I couldn't clear the civil services examination, but all all around this journey that I had, I understood that God had His own plan,
Hmm.
and the reason why I'm not giving up because I'm again and again taking myself up and pulling myself up from failures, from different other setbacks. Recently, an year ago, my mother left us. So all these setbacks that I'm suffering or seeing in life, this is wherein my journey as a sportsman, I used to be a sportsman, good at volleyball and football, comes into play because when you are a sports person, you are willing to take the hit and yet come up. You're willing to take another hit and again rise. So it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That is the reason why, as a person, I only believe in the fact that whatever comes across my way, I'll take it up, I'll take it in my stride and move forward, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
So Aishwarya, what's your favorite way to relax after tackling a challenging maritime case?
My favorite way would be I go to watch a movie and I play some amount of video games. I have my own personal PS5.
Mhm.
I go for that session. I play video games and I go outside and go watch a movie, party with friends, come back. I'm a simple person.
Okay. So how do you spend your weekends, Aishwarya?
Weekends for me is nap time, loads of nap time, and loads of household chores. That's how my life has been, at least the weekends, like any other normal person. But sometimes I might go across and meet some friends. Sometimes you don't get that chance because weekends for lawyers can also become challenging. Because if you have to present your case on Monday, you need to prepare on Sunday itself. At least 4 to 5 hours of preparation is required. Saturday you can relax. Friday evening, Saturday you can relax. But that relaxation is very short-lived, if at all a case comes up, because the case will not see whether it's weekend or weekday. It will just come up. So that's how it is.
Okay. So Aishwarya, what's the most adventurous experience you have had while working on a maritime related project?
I would say that a case had come up quite recently. It was a general average case wherein there was a fire on board the ship. The cause of the fire was unknown. The cargo owners were from India. Their cargo is lying in Dubai and they have to get it shipped to Sydney. And the ship owners have declared general average. Now, general average is a technical term of the maritime industry wherein if an accident comes into play, then each and every single person involved in the common maritime adventure has to contribute monetarily. If at all, let's say, 1,000 rupees or something, I'm just giving an example. If the loss of 1,000 rupees has happened on board the ship due to any sort of mishappening, then each and every single person who is part of that transaction in the common maritime adventure has to cooperate. But because of the fact that the cause of the fire on board the ship is yet unknown, it becomes very challenging as to the liability which needs to be shifted, whether on the cargo owners, the ship owners, or the marine insurers. It yet needs to be defined. The case is ongoing, and it's quite challenging for me because general average in the shipping industry, let me tell you, it's not very common. It's not at all common. It comes once in a blue moon, and I'm fortunate enough to be doing this case.
So, Aishwarya, what's a book, movie, or show about the sea that has inspired you personally or professionally?
Personally, I would say my father's life and his experiences have really inspired me. Very early in my life, probably I was in school, that he gave me a book, and this is the book. It's called SOLAS, Safety of Life at Sea. Now, this happens to be a book which my father read. His name is mentioned inside. It's a part of his curriculum, but this is the book that I used to come frequently across because it was just lying on the table here and there. So I used to just flip through it. When I used to flip through it, I started getting more and more interested in maritime. I never knew because my father wanted me to become a marine engineer. Sadly, I did not end up becoming a marine engineer, but God has its own tricks, and he made me a maritime lawyer. And so this is the book which is the most inspirational for me and my father's journey, I would sincerely say. These two aspects.
Yeah. So, Aishwarya, just imagine you've been given 1 week away from maritime law. What would you like to do?
I'll go trekking up the mountains, the Himalayas. I would sincerely go and trek the Himalayas, probably Jammu and Kashmir, somewhere around that, Himachal. And also, I have to visit Arunachal Pradesh. It's Arunachal and Mizoram. They are the most unexplored areas of a country. Mizoram happens to be the Switzerland of India for everyone who's listening to me. I must say that everybody should go and visit that. I'm planning, I've visited once. I'm planning to visit Mizoram again because it's a beautiful place. Let me tell you, it's a beautiful place. And because I'm so very connected to the sea, I want to give it a break. If at all I'm given a week, I'll go and explore the mountains. That is what I do.
Wow. Okay. My last two questions. How would your colleagues describe your work style in 3 words?
Unorthodox, very very risky, I would say. Madness, risky, madness, unorthodox. I'm a combination of these three.
Okay, one more googly for you. Describe Aishwarya in one line.
Never give up attitude.
Okay, let's
That's what
have
it is.
fun, the rapid fire round. Uh, your favorite legal principle from UNCLOS?
111. Hot pursuit.
Your go-to comfort food?
Dosa.
Repeat, repeat. Didn't get you.
Dosa. Dosa.
Okay. Uh, your favorite food from Lucknow?
Kebab paratha.
Okay. Your favorite movie
Laksh. Laksh. Laksh.
and your favorite sports person?
Virat Kohli.
Again, we lost out.
Virat Kohli.
Wow. Most memorable conference or guest lecture?
It is yet to come. It is yet to come.
Okay. Tea or coffee during late night research or case working on?
Tea. Always tea.
Okay, let's raise. Your favorite coastal city?
Chennai.
Didn't get you.
Chennai.
A ship you would love to work on.
Cruise ships. I would definitely want to work on cruise ships.
Maritime law or defense strategies.
Defense strategies.
Your favorite color?
Red.
Lost out.
Red.
Red. So you did well, and you will get this book as your Christmas gift. So,
Thank you
friends,
so
it was a
much.
lovely conversation having with Aishwarya how instead of becoming a marine engineer, but he ventured into maritime law, which is one of the niche areas. So all those lawyers out there, go and attend Aishwarya's guest lecture. It is one of the what do you say, lucrative field out there. A lot of excitements, and to be on ship, working with different time zones. It is a very interesting field out there, and you will really like it. This is the episode where he has shared about his journey, how his interaction with different stakeholders, and himself his interest into going for treks, his gaming enthusiast. We've got different speakers also, Aishwarya, where we can have some game, what do you say, conversations. That will be really interesting. So, friends, we've got over 300 plus episodes on the Coffee Conversation Show. Do subscribe. You'll get a lot of learnings, inspirations from their journey, professional, personal, how they have made it, and their what do you say, 5 year plans, their way forward in life, their journey, their belief system, their values. Lots of there is. And if you want to be featured like Aishwarya, do visit our website, the Emerging India Forum, or our LinkedIn handles, and our team will connect with you and invite you to have a hot cup of coffee and interesting coffee conversations. So, Happy New Year, and we meet with another coffee speaker with another interesting journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.